These motorized potties make me smile every single time I'm using this.
Think of the things that I'll do to you. Things that I'll do to you. Things that I'll do to you.
Hello my friends, welcome to the studio. Yes, it's still under construction. I just got confirmed today that the delivery of the aluminum profiles for the LED ceiling will be delayed for at least 2 more weeks due to the COVID situation. But I think there's still a lot of potential to have fun, especially with one piece of gear that I got around a month ago. Yes, the unboxing, probably the most epic I've ever experienced. There was even, I love, like, there's a smell. There's a smell in that box. I mean, that's attention to detail. I love that. Absolutely love that. So today we're talking about the Tegeler Audio Cream RC. And the RC is already what makes it extremely special, and I don't want to hold back the coolest thing that it can do for the end of the video. Let's just straight away start with it. Let me just hit play here. That's magic. Really magic. And to make it 100% clear, it's 100% analog. The entire piece of gear, which is like an EQ and compressor, is fully 100% analog as you know it from their not RC version. And from any other analog piece of gear, there's current going in there, transformers, and a lot of stuff. I'm not an engineer. I don't know how the inside actually really works. But on the front plate, you got these motorized knobs that communicate even with a plugin in the DAW. So for example, if I open up the plugin, you can see that whatever's happening here is mimicked on there. These move. They move. I take one of them and move it with my hand. It shows me a red dot that indicates that it's being controlled by hand. So the integration is just top notch. Same of course for the knobs that are illuminated. And you might now think, yeah, okay, but maybe it's a little gimmicky. Who needs that? Because if you compare the non-RC version to the RC version, there is a price difference, so you pay extra for that feature that everything just works and moves and adapts. You can even automate these, so you can draw in your DAW automation and the knobs will turn. And I can assure you now, using it for over a month, it's not a gimmick. I mean, yes, you pay a little extra and it doesn't change anything about the sound. It's more a convenience function. And now that I know that it exists, there's no way I will ever use any analog gear that doesn't have that integrated. The functionality of being able to communicate with a plugin just for the controls, because this opens up a huge new possibility, and that is total recall. So I can switch between projects. It saves the state and where the buttons were at, changes it again to the position exactly how I left it. Very handy for mastering engineers. If you have a customer that wants something changed, instead of taking a picture of it or putting it into a recall sheet, you just open up the project, it works. You can A and B compare between two settings very fast, which is not possible with analog gear. And I think it's really important to just put it to the right settings. You need to be able to A and B compare. The automation is nice and neat. I've not really incorporated it yet because in EQ compressor, I don't really need to EQ it. But for example, you could automate the output. Let's say you have this on your master and in the break, the song is just like too quiet. You could automate the output and this way get the volumes just right. And I personally use it in a very simple way. Since it's right in front of my desk, I use the knobs to just set it up the way I want it and have the plugin in the DAW just to save the state of it. So I can switch between projects. As a producer, this happens a lot. And this EQ compressor unit is used mostly either on the master or on a bus. So I've used it on drums, I've used it on vocals, I've used it on the master and also on synthesizer groups just to compress it a little, EQ it a little. So right here on the left we got our bypass, then the sidechain low cut. We can choose between 60 Hz, 120 Hz, and by engaging both we got a 200 Hz sidechain low cut. The top row is the EQ, those four right here. We got a low boost and the low frequency that will be then boosted. Same for the high frequencies, we got a high boost and we can choose the high frequency between 10K and 24. Right over here is the output control. We got here the metering for the gain reduction, the on and off switch. At the bottom we got threshold, attack, release, which goes from 0.1 to 1.2. It also has an auto setting and a cream setting. Ratios go from 1.5 over 2, 3 up to 10. And the last one right here is very, very handy. You can switch the EQ and the compressor. Let's check out the back really quick. For that, I have to crawl down underneath of the table, and please excuse the cable mess. All of this will be fixed once the studio is done. There will be no cables visible at all. So if your OCD gets triggered, I'm sorry. So here on the back, we got, of course, input left and right, output left and right, Ethernet, more on that in a bit, USB, this is only for the Tegeler guys, that's not for us to use, and of course power. The Ethernet, you just either plug it straight into your computer, you plug it to a router, and then just connect your computer again to the router. Both possible, very easy to set up. So you could even control the device with another computer standing somewhere else that is also connected to the network. And that's also like another benefit. I myself, I really like to have my gear in front of me so I can sit in the sweet spot and control it. But some people have so much that it just doesn't fit in front of them. So it's in the bag, maybe on the side, maybe far away. And it just doesn't make any sense to go there, tweak it, go back to the sweet spot. The difference is too big to make like precise decisions. So with this kind of setup, you could have this even in another room and still get your analog sound and just control it with the plugin. But enough of me talking, let's actually like demo it, because most important, the sound. What does it sound like? And online, a lot of people always like just put like a random drum loop and run it through. I don't like these tests since I have it already for a month and I've used it on actual songs and real production songs that will be out very soon. I will demo to you those. I've used it on one song on vocals, on another on drums, and on another on the master. And another added benefit while demoing it, you don't have to watch my big fat dirty fingers turning the knobs. I can just do it with the plugin and you get to enjoy some magic.
Just living like it's all beneath us, drowning in the feeling, can't help but take it farther. I'm breathing underwater.
So as you're able to hear, those are fine changes. This device is not meant for drastic changes. It's meant to be used on groups, on the master. So it's more about like the fine details, that analog sparkle at the end. That's what it's made for. And if you'd asked me if there was anything negative about it, not really. I was worried that it might not work as promised with the connection and everything. It just works. It really, you just plug it in, it works. It never failed on me. It always loads when I open up a new project, the settings perfectly as I left them. Also, just to let you know, whenever you turn it in the plugin, the motorized parties, they need a little time to get to that setting. But internally, the sound is already there. It's just the little delay because they have to physically move. There's no way around it. And like one little detail, there's like a default setting. So all of them turn to the left, which makes total sense. The low boost will go to 0. The output volume will go to 0. Just the threshold goes to 10. So the default setting has it set to a threshold of 10. I would love if they could change it. I think it's just like a software fix to have that one knob go to the other side, go to 0, to actually let it, like on the default setting, make nothing to the sound. And then there's like the big question, who is it made for? I think for mastering engineers, even more, I think for people that want to have their first piece of analog gear. Like honestly, if anyone would ask me, what should I buy first? I want to like enter the analog world of devices. I would recommend them this one right here, because it doesn't destroy your workflow. Acting as a plugin, you get that analog sparkle and something to touch and turn knobs. And it has the EQ and compressor built in there, the two most important things you will need for like finishing your songs, or maybe even mixing into it, what I actually most of the time do. So if you're interested to find more out about it, I'll link down below in the description like the website where you can like check it out and hear even more examples also on other kinds of music and read everything about it. You can even order it for free for 14 days. And if you don't like it, just send it back, which is like the best you can do whenever you buy speakers or anything expensive for your studio. Get it to your studio, work with it, and see for yourself if it's something you're happy with and it's worth it to you. There's just one problem, a personal problem I have with it. This thing is just really hardcore triggering my gear addiction. The company has 2 more units that are RC controllable, a reverb and a compressor, both very capable, very unique, very forward thinking, and I just want them. But that's maybe something for next year. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you think about devices like this that are like fusing analog and digital, give you the convenience of recallability. Is that something you're interested in, or do you think it's just a gimmick and it doesn't really serve a purpose? Let me know down below in the comments. See you again tomorrow back here in the studio, music making.